Well, it's the rise of knowledge, right? So, I mean, so the first great discovery was agriculture, which enabled much larger population, and larger population in turn created problems of governance, and problems of governance for which we were not biologically well equipped, right? We evolved to live in very small groups, not in massive, conurbations and huge empires and so on. So the population growth enabled by agriculture created communities so much vaster than what we had lived in as monkeys and then as proto-humans and then as the early hunter-gatherers, that we've been struggling ever since with these governance problems. And then as knowledge expands, and population and so on, all sorts of new problems are created, and institutional responses emerge, many of which work very well. And recently we have been confronted with scientific advances, medical advances, computerization, and so on, which have created huge new opportunities and wealth and longevity and so on, but also tremendous risks, obviously, and disease risks, terrorism, war, so on. So it is the inexorable rise of knowledge which interacts with a biological structure that was not designed to cope with these complex. So because we do have large brains, we do pretty well, but not necessarily well enough. So we could find, the world could easily, human population could destroy itself in the next 50 years because of the extraordinary growth in technology, which has its destructive as well as constructive elements. So that I think is a problem. And so, in order to design institutions to minimize the terrible downside risks we face, we do have to be realistic about human nature. I mean, the notion that you have politicians promising all sorts of, whether it's Hugo Chavez or one of our guys or girls, or promising revolutionary improvements has to be looked at with considerable skepticism in light of history, in light of, as I say, a realistic understanding of human nature.